For today's episode, I want to talk about forgiveness because forgiveness has been one of the most powerful tools I ever experienced, and it really helped me to get to where I am. Because when we don't forgive, we actually hurt ourselves. We create these stories in our mind about situations that happen, and we can't let them go. And when we can't let them go, we actually keep coming back and cycling back to those things because we trap things inside of our body. When events happen in our lives, we actually hold them inside of our body. We store them in our subconscious, right? And then as women, we cycle in 7 and men cycle in 8. So every 7 years, we're actually reliving the things that we've lived through in our minds, but we don't really know that we are cycling through those things because we've never actually put a pin on it to be like, oh, this is something that happened before that I'm reliving through now. For example, last July, I was on vacation and I decided to steam my dress while it was on my body. I don't suggest you try that at home. It was not a very smart move in my life because I got a very bad burn on the side of my body. But it was actually a cycle that I was living through. And because I'm so aware and I am so conscious, I now know and understand if I'm living through something that just doesn't feel right and feels off. And in this particular time last July, I was feeling very off. I was in Aruba with my family, with all of the kids. We have 5 kids combined, and the children are not all with us all the time because they span from 25 to 7. So we don't get to see each other all the time. And I really should have been having the best time ever, but for some reason I wasn't. And I couldn't figure out why until the burn happened, because the burn resembled the tattoo that I happened to have on my hip. The scarring happened right above the tattoo, and the scar looked almost exactly like the tattoo. So it made me cycle back to the summer that I got the tattoo, which I was 21 years old. And last year I turned 42. So it was a cycle of 7. And that summer I rented a beach house in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. And I shared it with a bunch of my girlfriends. And while they went down on the weekends, it was my goal and desire to stay down there for the full summer. I wasn't a very good cook, and I decided to make pizza bagels or something that day, and I nearly burned the entire condo down. And I was ashamed and I felt guilty and all of the things, and everybody blamed me for it, and I lost my security deposit, and it caused like this whole uproar, and I honestly don't even remember the details of it. But that whole experience was trapped inside of me, and I never actually dealt with it, and I never forgave myself for the situation. I never forgave anybody that was a part of that situation. I just stored it inside my body and tried to hide it under the rug. Who cares? I'm never going to experience this again. But it's not true. We experience everything again, especially the traumatic instances in our lives. And so it made me go back and reflect to that summer. And I decided to get this tattoo on my 21st birthday. The tattoo is actually covering a different tattoo that I got when I was 17 years old. When I was 17 years old, I got a rose, and I got my name, Shil, written on top of it. And after 17, I gained a whole lot of weight, and then I lost a whole lot of weight, and I gained the weight, and I lost the weight, and I gained the weight. So by the time I was 21, the Shil was very stretched out, so it looked like Phil. And so I went to the tattoo parlor and I asked them if they could cover it. I, of course, had no idea what I wanted to put on it. I was drinking. It was my 21st birthday. I didn't really have the knowing that I was going for a tattoo. Somebody said, hey, come with me. And I said, okay. So the guy drew this tribal symbol on me that actually looks like a yin yang, which ended up being a huge part of my life moving forward. But I got this tattoo, and it was a symbol from that summer of something that I really need to go back to and heal. And the most incredible part about the burn story is that the burn should have scarred for a very long time. And if I was to show you, it's barely there. You can hardly see it now because I went in time and I did the healing work. I did the forgiveness work. I ho'oponopono'd. So if you've never heard that before, ho'oponopono is a Hawaiian tradition that they used to use back in the day. When somebody in town would do something bad, everybody would gather around that person and they needed to see the reflection of what that person did. It's like easy to judge somebody and to crucify somebody else because it's, oh, how dare they? But the truth is that we've done pretty bad things in our lives. I don't care how perfect you are. I don't care how religious you are. You've done things in your past that you could go back and you could repent for. And maybe you have and you've forgiven yourself for it, but a lot of us, we don't forgive ourselves for it. We try to forget about it and we try to move forward. But we trap those emotions inside of our body. So ho'oponopono is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. And what you could do is you can call in a situation, you can call in somebody that you've had contact with or conflict with, excuse me, and you can actually ho'oponopono with them. You don't have to physically call them on the phone. You could just call in their guides and you can feel them in your presence and you can repeat, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, and thank you. Maybe you're having a hard time at work or you know that you did something wrong and your boss is going to call you in for a meeting. You can actually ho'oponopono the situation and you can tone down the entire tonality of what's about to happen by doing this because you're opening yourself up to reflection, right? I'm sorry is an amazing way to heal. When you can forgive somebody and truly forgive somebody, you don't have to say it to them. You don't have to forgive them. You have to forgive for yourself. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the part that I played in this situation because every wrong that has happened, somehow we played into that role. Now, if you've had something really traumatic happen in your life, this is going to be super triggering for you, right? Like, I didn't cause that to happen. How dare you say that to me? But the truth is that somehow you did. Somehow you manifested that situation to happen for you. So maybe that's because you were in a situation or you were thinking about a situation or you were consuming some kind of media that led you to that situation, or maybe that's your contract that you created before you even came here, that you were going to have to live through this horrible experience in order to experience what true bliss happiness is. So first we say, I'm sorry. And then we ask for forgiveness. Please forgive me. I can't even tell you how liberating it was when I first entered my relationship with Benjamin Lover, my soulmate and partner. And the first time I did something where I said the words, I'm sorry, and he said, I forgive you. And it was like, wow, I felt such relief because his love for me was so unconditional. And when he said those words to me, I really, truly believed him. I've said I'm sorry before in my life, but I don't think that anybody has ever truly forgiven me. And it was life-changing for me because the power of his forgiveness gave me the power to forgive and to allow people to live in their mistakes and to truly give people the sovereignty and the freedom to make those mistakes. And sometimes I am the wheelhouse that has to take the brunt of what's happening in order for them to grow and for me to advance. Because that's what happens when we practice forgiveness. We're actually giving ourselves an opportunity to grow in the biggest way possible. It's so huge when you're able to say, I'm sorry and I forgive you. And not just to others, but to yourself. To stand in front of the mirror and look yourself in the eye and say, I'm sorry, Shilamida. I'm sorry that I made you live through that. I'm sorry that we experienced that. I forgive you. I forgive you for being mean to that person. I forgive you for saying those words. I know you didn't mean them. I forgive you for cheating on that test or for cheating on your boyfriend or for doing the bad thing, right? It's facing yourself in the mirror. You are your biggest judge. You are your worst enemy. What other people think of you is never worse than your worst thing that you think of yourself. So forgiveness has to start from within first. And when you truly learn to forgive yourself, you're able to forgive everybody and anybody that comes your way. And you start to live in the most beautiful freedom of all time. Like, the feeling is so indescribable when you're able to truly forgive. So I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you, right? I love you. After you listen to this podcast, I challenge you to send love to every single person that you see for the next 24 hours. I just want you to beam and radiate love in the biggest way possible. Okay, can you do that for me? As you're driving in your car and you're passing by the cars on the road, people have road rage, people are going through their own stuff. I want you to send love and blessings, send love and blessings, send love and blessings, right? When you get to work and you see all those coworkers that you can't stand, I want you to send love and blessings to them. Your mom, your dad, whoever's bothering you for the day, I want you to send love and blessings for them. Your children, your partner, I want you to send them double the love and double the blessings. And I just want you to spend this whole day just cultivating this love and this feeling of abundance, of love and gratitude and blessings, right? Because the more that we give, the more that we receive. And if we spend our time giving love, we're going to receive so much of that love in return. And to give without expecting to receive is the greatest gift of all time. So I invite you to just send love. Just try it. There's not much that you can lose, but a whole much that you can gain. And the last part of the Ho'oponopono is thank you. Gratitude. Living in immense gratitude. Thank you, 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 thank you. You could just feel the shift in the energy. I am grateful. I am grateful. When you feel it from within, truly to feel gratitude for this moment, even when you're living through the worst moment of your life and you think this is the worst moment, how could I possibly be living through this? If you can find the gratitude in this moment, you are going to find the gratitude in all of life. One of the best gifts that I've given myself is to find the gratitude in everything. It is a game changer for me. It is a game changer for this entire life and being, to be able to be grateful in the worst of moments. Because I now realize, and especially what we lived through in the past 2 years, COVID really brought out the ugly in me. The things inside of me that I thought that were healed were still there. And to be able to look at the whole situation now and live in ultimate gratitude, because it changed everything for me. It really shifted me in the hugest way possible. And I'm so grateful for it now, right? In the beginning, I thought, wow, this is going to change the whole entire world. It's going to change the trajectory of everything because people are going to see what I see. And then week by week, people were not seeing. The fear was growing bigger and stronger. And it made me so emotional that I really needed to live in gratitude. And when I brought myself back to gratitude, it really just changed everything. So I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. I promise you, if you practice those 4 statements with yourself and with others, it is totally life-changing. I love you. I'm grateful for you, and I'm ready to watch you soar. I know that your life is going to shift and change from listening to these messages, and I cannot wait to hear what you have to tell me. Thank you.